YouTube, what the crap's going on? The Dawi welcome you to the battlefield here. Let's see who they're up against. Looks like they're up against the Warherd of the Shadowgave. So we got Morghur here. And we got some gyrocopters with brimstone gun pulling up. And there's not any archers to do anything about them, but sometimes that Cygor actually can land a rock right on target. But he's not aiming for them. He's aimed for the dwarf infantry. More particularly the Slayers, which that was a pretty good hit. If I were him, though, I'd be aimed for the Grumbling Guard and the Hammerers because they're the most expensive infantry and will pay back the quickest. The Brimstone Gun is going to be a big fat pain in the butt, and gyrocopters are something you need to consider every time you bring the Beastmen. Harpies can be quite good at dealing with gyrocopters. Look at that Goblobber. Just dishes so much damage. The Goblobber is still such a good unit for the price, even after they increase the price. Neither one of these are summon Cygors? No, they're not. It says Brace Shaman Wild. Okay, yeah, it is a summon Cygor. I couldn't see like the little purpley crap on it that you usually see when a summon unit comes up. So it is a summon Cygor because it's slowly dropping. Wonder why he summoned it so far back, because now he's having to waste some of the hit points moving forward. So obviously the Beast player looking to use Cygors to try and push some type of range against the dwarves, but it's not really working out too well so far. Let's see what's hidden over here. A couple of Centaurs with great weapons, and then the main Beastmen army is going to be Warherds with shields. There's some Ungor spears, Morghur, and then over here hidden in the woods we got Gorbull, 2 Bestigor herd, and a Brace Shaman Shadows. So this would have eaten up a pretty good chunk of magic to summon that Cygor. And now it's just money spent on the Brace Shaman, so we'll see how it's used. That Goblobber is just shredding these Warherds. So let's see what happens here. The gyrocopter's using up all their ammo pretty much on the Cygor, and the Cygor's still getting quite a lot of time to fire. Let's see who he's... Oh yeah, he's gotten some pretty serious damage done on the Grumbling Guard. But the Cygors aren't terribly accurate from this range. It might not have hurt to move a little closer with the Cygors, especially before summoning one too, so that they might get a little more accuracy. The Slayers will tear up Centaurs with great weapons in a big hurry. And the Goblobber's already done so much damage at this point that it seems a little bit late to be trying to pressure it with the Centaurs. And there's 2 Slayer groups around, so it's probably ill-advised. I mean, unless he just wants to do a quick hit and run, and it's going to have to be all kinds of quick. If he wanted to get away with it, he just gets hit with the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Alright, so the infantry fight's going to begin. Longbeards are going to lay waste to all of this Beastmen infantry. They don't have a chance unless we get a summon here. If some Chaos spawn right up behind these Longbeards would be great. The Warriors of Dragonfire Pass coming in as well, so the Beastmen's front line is going to be highly challenged. Their armor-piercing infantry is needed already, and it's still going to have to face off against Hammers and Grumbling Guard. Centaurs with great weapons, going to be a great rear charge here. They should do a lot of damage. You can see this Centaur being slowed down by the Dragonback Slayers and just cut to pieces. It should have stayed well away from those Slayers. Let's see, here comes the Brace Shaman Shadows. If there is a blob of dwarfs somewhere, he could really use the Pit of Shades to good effect. Here comes the Centaurs. They're going to get a really nice rear charge here on these Longbeards, but then they could be charged by Hammerers and Grumbling Guard in return. These Centaurs dishing out some pretty stiff damage to the Dwarf Infantry. They've already got 17 kills. The Slayers over here kind of distracted at the moment. There comes the Pit of Shades. Looks like it's going to work the Grumbling Guards, but then his own Centaurs roll right into the middle of it. So he's going to be dishing out some friendly damage there too, and then the Cygor's firing right into the midst of it. We'll see what happens. The Grumbling Guard took some damage. I kind of think that Pit of Shades... Yeah, I mean, I guess it was used in just about the best spot you could have. Ooh, those bombs from the gyrocopters. They basically just put this Beastman infantry to flight, and then they're going to drop in and attack them and drive them out. Gorbull is pretty thrashed, and he's been trying to work on Ungrim, but Gorbull's gotten worked pretty hard. Now, though, there's 2 units of summoned Chaos Spawn all of a sudden over here. And they're going to be working over the dwarf infantry, and that dwarf infantry is not going to do great. Fortunately for them, though, that's summon chaos spawn, which means they'll kind of die on their own over time. Rune of Wrath and Ruin taking down Bestigor. And out here, there's a Bestigor chasing the Slayers, and the Slayers are just running away. Definitely should have not chased the Slayers that far, because that Bestigor herd over here could be really clutch right now. 65 kills on one Cygor and 29 on the other. Any kills they can get at this point is going to be pretty important. Gorbel just got a really good hit on that Runesmith, and then Ungrim, it looks like he's fighting with Morgr. I wouldn't think Morgr really wants to fight Ungrim head-to-head. Gorbel will do just fine. Ooh. Ungrim has a bonus versus large there too, so Gorbel is really going to feel the hurt from Ungrim. Another Pit of Shades, and it gets a hold of the Dwarf Infantry quite nicely here without dealing too much friendly damage, though some of the Bestigor did wander in too close there at the last second. But definitely gets rid of some of the remnants of the Dwarf Infantry, and these summoned Chaos Spawn got, 30-ish kills, maybe close to 40 in the end, so not bad. Ungrim is actually suffering pretty badly at the hands of Morgr. Morgr causes poison. Gorbel, I think, just died in combat or got routed. Looks like the Bray Shaman of Shadows is finishing off a Hammerer, so that's a nice work there. Gyrocopters are attacking the Bray Shaman of the Wild. He's going to get killed. This Cygor is not out of ammo, but it looks like it's moving up to potentially get closer. Just not a bad call. Slayers would put an end to that Cygor in a big hurry. Speaking of Slayers, here they are. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass and or hang on, where did the Slayers go? They're way out here still. So the Slayers must have been chasing something off the map. So the Slayers could be very, very useful right now, but they're a long ways away. Morgr is now starting to suffer pretty badly that Ungrim is focused on him. Rune of Oath and Steel is giving Ungrim 150 armor, and Morgr doesn't really have armor piercing. Let's see, though. Ungrim is possibly going to get his head pounded in by a Cygor here. Let's see. There comes a Stomp, and Ungrim kicks the bucket. The Slayer King is slain. The Cygor now dishing out damage in the infantry fight. So the Dwarf Lord is down, but I don't know how he's going to deal with these Slayers. They're unbreakable. And none of the units he have are really going to be very well survived by the Slayers. The Cygor routes. All that's left here is a Runesmith that's fairly damaged, some Goblobber, and some Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. Looks like a little bit of magic used there on the Warriors. If the Runesmith routes, that's going to be huge because it should take away any buffs these units were getting from it. And then we've got the Bray Shaman of the Wild who came back from routing. But like I said, these Slayers, I think, are going to be the end of the match. If this Cygor comes back from routing and can put a couple of really, really well-placed rocks, the Chaos Spawn, very, very timely here for the Beastmen. I don't know if there's any spawns left for Morgr beyond this, but if he does have any, he's going to need it to help take down these Slayers. This could end up being close. The Spearmen came back. None of the Dwarf Infantry has come back in this area. These Bestigor would be badly needed too. They're not shattered. So the Chaos Spawn definitely helping out, but the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are going to be tough. Anything with Regenerate takes extra damage from the Warriors, and that would include Morgr. And they just can't seem to break these Dawi here. So even with those Chaos Spawn picking up another 25 kills, the Beastmen are struggling to stay afloat here. The Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, though, finally basically getting theirs. And they're going to rout. Oh, he got a spawn off the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. But Slayers are going to do so good versus Chaos Spawn. There's the rocks I was hoping for from the Cygor. Let's see what happens. This could end up being close, though. It says it's in favor of the Beastmen at this point. Take the charge of the Slayers. Here comes the Chaos Spawn will do really good against the Slayers on the charge, but then the Slayers should start to rack up some pretty absurd damage because there's really no armor to protect the Chaos Spawn. And even with some armor, the Dragonback Slayers and stuff are going to be good versus... Wow, though they are taking a lot of damage to that Chaos Spawn. I'm sorry I'm not zooming up like super close, but I'm trying to keep an eye on the amount of damage that's being done because this is going to be a very interesting fight. These units are unbreakable, so they will fight down to the last dwarf. The Cygor rerouted for some reason, even though he was a ways away from the fight. And this is going to end up being an incredibly close fight. We're talking about 13 Slayers here, but there's still 28 Slayers models left here. And all of the Beastmen spawn are gone now. I don't think there's anything else that the Beastmen can summon up. I think I saw 4 different Chaos spawn. So the question is whether or not this Shaman and Morgar can get the damage done, and I don't think they can. I think the Slayers are going to take this one home in a very clutch victory that would have made their lord proud. The Slayer King being avenged by his Slayers. You can see Morgar running off. What a close victory. That was a heck of a lot of fun. Heck of a lot of fun. Look at that battlefield there. That is so cool. So yeah, really nice battle. Had a lot of fun with that one. So appreciate Elo Sir and Salt's Curse of 39. Great battle. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Let's see. Those Slayers spent so much time away from the battle, but then still managed to come back and clutch out the ending. So it's impressive. It was fun. And as expected, these Longbeards put up a heck of a fight up front for this unarmored Beastman infantry. Got a few kills out of his Bestigor herd, but none of them even picking up a chevron. The Hammer is also getting pretty much shut down. Goblobber is just brutal, as always. Absolutely brutal. Where are those Centigors? Yeah, this one got a little work done versus some Dwarf infantry, but this is the one that got caught by the Slayers. And Morgar picked up 64 kills, and that's outside the kills he got on the Chaos spawn, so Morgar was probably responsible for close to 200 kills in total, would be my guess. Anyway, appreciate MSI sponsoring the channel, and I appreciate you, my awesome viewers, for being here every day and watching these videos. I do hope you enjoy them. Make sure to give me some feedback on what you'd like to see. I'll be playing some battles of my own, because if I don't play any battles of my own, then we all know what that is, right? If I don't play my own battles at least sometimes, that's right, it's a shameful display. I had to find a way to get that in. Have I told you all that I'm enjoying the shameful display? Because I am. In any case, hopefully, if you want to subscribe, click the logo in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll be the first to know about new videos. Can't wait to see you back in the next Total War Warhammer battle or other video. HeirofCarthage, signing out. See you there.